Hello, this is Mark from I Am Organic Gardening, located in Zone 6B. And today I'm going to be going over how to prune a 1-year-old peach tree. I planted these peach trees last January of 2017. And this is what it looks like when you plant your tree in the ground the very first time. And in just one full year, it can end up looking like this. So now we need to prune it. The reason we prune it is to basically give it a shape that we're comfortable with, that we can enjoy and pick the fruit off of it. In that process, we're going to increase airflow and sunlight. And before I proceed, I'd like to help you with, they call it pruning anxiety. Do not worry about how you do it or when you do it. Now, it is recommended to do in the wintertime, but I'm right out here and the buds are forming and I'm still going to be able to prune my peach trees to a very beautiful shape. So when you do it, remember, it's not a science. It is basically a enhanced lifestyle that you're going to give that tree to where you're going to be working with it over the years to produce a really good quality fruit for your family. So the first thing we're going to do on our 1-year-old peach tree here is that we're going to identify our scaffold branches. These are our large branches that we wish to keep for years to come, or the lifetime of the tree. Now these are going to grow stronger every year, and the process of what they're going to be doing is opening up that center and bringing those branches outwards and creating strength in them that can bear our fruit on them. So in your peach tree, you want your scaffold branches to start anywhere from 18 to 24 inches above the ground. Now, we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Now, you can have possibly 4 per tree, but 3 is the minimum. That's a good number. Now, also, we're going to be picking these for 2 reasons. Number 1 is that we have this one here, so you can see is coming off on a 45-degree angle. That's going to be some nice strength right here because of the angle of the limb here. Now this one here, you can see the angle is not as evident going down to a 45, anywhere from 45 to a 60, which is good for you. Now this one might possibly crack in the future, and we'll address that later on. Now also too, is that you don't want all these branches to be around the same circle here. See how this one's lower, this one's going a little bit higher, and this one's higher too. You don't want them all on the same plane here, right in the middle. Now you can see if I wish to make a cut, say, or it's right here, I would open up the whole middle of this tree, thus giving me a vase shape. Now I will increase airflow and sunlight very easily by just making one cut right here by opening up the middle of the tree. The items we're going to use today are quite simple. We're going to start with our rubbing alcohol. Now we're going to apply that onto our tools, and we're going to apply that between each tree. Number 2, just a handheld pair of pruners, and also 2 are large loppers. Now I know a lot of people out there don't like using loppers, and they're correct in assuming that it will crush the wood. But the key to using loppers is, that's what you see in front of here, is that I have is a grinding stone or a file. Now what I do is, be going from tree to tree, I will go over the edge of those loppers and I will make a quick and clean cut. You cannot get that with a saw. You can get that only with a lopper. And also the reason we're going to prune this tree too is because we want to double the life of the tree. The reason I say that, and I'll show you a picture at the end of the video, what happens when you don't prune a tree at all, or a peach tree. So our first cut is going to be right in the center here. We're going to remove that center leader there and open up that vase shape, and they call that a thinning cut because we're removing a branch or the part of the tree that goes right back to the trunk of the tree. And I'm going to use my loppers for this. It's going to be a nice clean cut very quickly at a 45-degree angle. Nice and easy. Now you can see by just one cut how that opened it up for air circulation and also more sunlight. Now again, just as a guideline, we don't want to remove more than 50% of the tree. So now we just go down. Anything that's downward facing or small size here, we're just going to remove. Just in the way. This branch here is pretty much facing downwards. We don't want that too thin. We'll just clip this off. Any dead wood. And there you go. Now the next cut we're going to be making is called a heading cut. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to go right here. We want an outward facing bud. Cut it at a 45-degree angle. Now here's some new fruiting wood. And I'll show you a close-up on that. Now here's a good example of what the fruit bud looks like on a peach tree. You can see that it has two flowers on both sides and a leaf growing in the middle. That's where it's going to produce its fruit. And you can see that in other parts of the tree, but the key point is here. Look at the stem behind here, and hopefully the camera can pick it up. It is a very, let's say, burgundy red in color. Now only on that type of wood will this produce your fruit on your tree. So now you can see that we have our fruiting bud on a different type of branch here on the same tree, but you notice the branch is different colors. So this fruit bud will not produce fruit here. It's only on the red part or the red wood of the tree. And we'll remove the thinner branches here. We don't need them. They won't bear any fruit. They won't hold it strong enough. And we'll just cut it down to size. They're just too small. You want something that's as thick as a pencil here, and that's where your fruit's going to be bearing on. See how this is too small? You don't want that. You want the red color wood with a couple of fruit buds on it. You only want about, let's say, 5 to 6 fruit buds, because you can prune them off early. Now you can come back, and if it's too much fruit on it, you can actually break the buds off or pull the fruit off later on. But that's your end result, and that's with a heading cut. You just cut at the top of the branch, and that will just make it flower out again and go from there. When making your cuts, you never want to cut right into this collar here. You want to cut right to the outside of it, like so. Just like that, and that will be fine, because this will grow, this collar will grow right around that. And this is what it looks like afterwards. And now I know I removed a lot of material, but again too, I'm improving the health of the tree, the strength of those branches. It's going to grow back so quickly. As promised early in the video, this is what happens when you don't prune your peach tree at all. You can see how the branches split away. They should never have developed there, and that's why you prune them away, because you can see where there's like 3 or 4 branches in that one area. I should have only left one there if I came in and pruned it years ago, but I wanted to know exactly, and I teach myself this. I always sacrifice something on the farm to learn, and this is exactly what I did. Now I lost $25 in the process, but I will learn the rest of my life never to let a peach tree go without pruning it. I want to thank you very much for watching today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please write them below. I'd love to hear from you, always do. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up when you get a chance to. Enjoy your day. Winter's almost done with, finally, hopefully, and spring is right around the corner. I do see green. Thanks very much. See you soon.